I'm particularly pleased to have the opportunity to introduce the keynote speaker in the panel chair this afternoon. Leonard Cowley, who's with AT&T, is going to be talking, of course, about the inclusion imperative and addressing the business case for accessibility. For over 20 years, Leonard Cowley has served in a variety of leadership positions at AT&T. I, as somebody who's been in Washington now for most of my career, am particularly pleased that he's a Washington guy, legislative and regulation. He's been not too far from that activity through most of his time at AT&T. He currently serves as the Senior Vice President of Global Public Policy for External and Legislative Affairs. He's played leadership roles elsewhere in the wireless and international affairs area, and of course related to federal government, running the Washington, D.C. office, handling law, antitrust, regulatory, congressional, and executive branch advocacy work. I suspect that tends to keep AT&T and his colleagues quite busy. In this role, he's continued to be responsible for developing a number of public policy initiatives at the organization. I know that we're in for a special treat from the representative of a very special company working on accessibility. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming Leonard Cowley.
Good afternoon. Thank you for that very kind introduction. It's a pleasure to be here today. Indeed, it's a privilege to be here today. As Paul mentioned, I'm here to speak about the inclusion imperative, or why it makes good business sense to design products and services to be usable by all people to the greatest extent possible from the start, without the need for subsequent adaptation or specialized design. I want to be clear, that's not to say the competitive market's going to address all our disability concerns. But I think it's important to recognize that it does mean a forward-looking company with the right motivation, the right systems, the right processes in place can drive more economic and more efficient solutions than we might have thought possible. And this is particularly true in the mobile broadband space, where technology is advancing so quickly. It's our job, when I say our, all of our jobs, to harness this technology to make all our lives better. So I'd like to approach the issue in two parts. First, looking at the demographics and some of the other market drivers that make accessibility and usability good business. But then also to speak a bit about how AT&T has been addressing these issues, which, as I'll explain, really entails a comprehensive end-to-end approach and a collaborative approach within a supportive corporate culture. We have had a long-term commitment to accessibility, and it is a profound commitment, and I appreciate the opportunity to share some of where we're going. As Paul points out, we don't always get everything right, but I think we're all learning together and trying to move forward. So with that, I think we'll start by looking at some of the demographics. The disability and aging communities have unique perspectives and unique needs, but both groups are growing, and both groups, like everyone else in society, benefit from access and use of today's technologies. These technologies promise to make all our lives better and more fulfilling. As you've heard earlier today, communications are essential to increase productivity, independent living, a sense of well-being and safety, really full inclusion in society. What many people don't realize is that customers who are blind shop online, employees who are deaf participate in conference calls. It's a question of the right technology and the right tools to ensure inclusion and productivity, to enable people to participate in society, in educational opportunities, in the job market, and in government. And as we all recognize, everyone can benefit from these technologies. I've listed a Forrester study on the slide here from 2003 that found nearly 60% of all computer users would likely or very likely benefit from accessible technologies. That just makes sense. These technologies represent the digital curb cuts in our information roadways. Now, on a worldwide basis, the numbers are absolutely staggering. The number of people with disabilities worldwide is greater than the total population of China. That's 16% of the world's population. In 2008, the number of people in the world 65 and older, the estimate at the time, was increasing at an average of 870,000 people each month. And that was before our baby boomer generation reached 65. These are very large numbers of people that cannot and should not be ignored. And given the global nature of our mobile broadband space, it really is right to look at them on a global basis. But we can also look at this on a national basis, and the numbers are still compelling. Almost 1/4 of the U.S. population consists of people who are elderly, have a disability, or are both mature Americans with a disability. And 30% of households have a family member with a disability. Now, I've got a map here on the slide that's somewhat contrived, because it tries to depict on a geographic basis what 1/4 of the U.S. population might look like if you shade in orange states representing 25% of all Americans. But what I like about the map is it stretches from coast to coast and north to south. The point it really makes is that what we often characterize as the disability community or the senior community are in fact integral and significant parts of our national community. And with an aging population, including aging employee and customer populations, there's an increased prevalence of disability or functional limitations. 25% of the people over 50 and fully half of the people over 60 have disabilities or functional limitations. Now, I have another slide that also looks at our aging population. In 2011, the first baby boomers will turn 65. This is the generation I referenced just a few moments ago. About 10,000 Americans turn 65 every day, and the trend is expected to continue for the next 19 years. And think about those numbers. 10,000 Americans day in and day out for the next 19 years turning 65. And as the prevalence of disability increases, we can and should look to technology to rethink possible. Rethink what's possible to be an aid in all our life stages and to help us meet our daily challenges. The 1/4 of the population that I mentioned earlier controls more than $220 billion in annual discretionary spending. The most recent number I have from 2003 of adults over 50 spending nearly $400 billion. On top of this, the market for wireless service actually has room to grow among mature adults who don't all yet have cell phones. And these older Americans tend to be very good customers with much more brand loyalty than their younger counterparts. So what I'm trying to say here is, all in all, this represents an attractive market opportunity. And it's made all the more attractive by government procurement requirements related to accessible products and services. And of course, whether you call it citizenship, sustainability, good business, or just the right thing to do, a company's brand is enhanced if it is known to be a disability-friendly company. But market drivers alone don't guarantee success. Companies need to embrace opportunities to make their products more accessible and more usable by all customers. This is why I would like to describe AT&T's approach to these issues. This is an approach that we have found helpful. It might not be for every company, but I think it provides a helpful illustration of how our company, or a company, might approach the question of making its products and services as usable and accessible as possible. At AT&T, we recognize that developing products and services is only effective if we have a holistic approach. It has to be comprehensive, and we develop a culture of inclusion. So our approach includes building a diverse workforce, customer service and employee education, community engagement, universal design, product development and innovation, and accessible products and services. And I'll try to go through these briefly. In terms of workforce, we recognize that many of our best ideas will come from within the company. And for that reason, it's important that we have a diverse workforce that truly understands the needs of our customers. As our chairman has said, quote, "A diverse workforce and inclusive culture are essential to AT&T. They allow us to attract and retain the best and the brightest to develop the most innovative products and solutions to meet our customers' needs," unquote. And so we have made a number of efforts and put in place processes to encourage the employment of people with disabilities, including accessible, end-to-end recruitment processes and a supportive employee environment. What I would like to do is highlight two specific programs we're currently engaged in. With Allura Cares, AT&T and Alorica established a call center that is staffed entirely by veterans with disabilities. Employees work from dedicated workspaces within their homes, and needs are met on a case-by-case basis. Since the program launched about a year ago, we have hired 117 veterans with disabilities for this program. 76 are active and 42 are in training. With Operations Hand Salute, it's more about our suppliers. We work with businesses owned by veterans with disabilities who receive mentoring from AT&T existing suppliers as well as AT&T procurement experts. The participants learn to expand their business and bid for contracts from companies like AT&T, but not just AT&T. Our pilot program is in California, but it will be expanding nationwide. Now, in addition to our employees, I mentioned community engagement. And we rely on the disability community and on other dedicated expertise within the company to help inform our thinking about accessibility and the products and services we offer. Both the AT&T Advisory Panel on Aging, Access and Aging, and the Citizenship and Sustainability Expert Team help the company to think creatively about accessible products. The AT&T Advisory Panel on Access and Aging brings together leaders in the company with external leaders and experts in accessibility and aging. It gives us an opportunity to hear directly from the disability community about what AT&T should be working on next. It meets formally 3 times a year and provides ongoing input and advice on a range of AT&T accessible efforts throughout the year. Importantly, this organization has access to AT&T leadership to ensure that its ideas are heard and implemented. The Citizenship and Sustainability Expert Team on Access and Aging is composed of employees who champion accessibility across business units within AT&T. It's a tool to share best practices, resources, and expertise, and helps drive employee training. It also helps make our company a more welcoming place for employees with disabilities and improves how we serve our customers. Again, this organization also has access to AT&T senior leadership. And while all this culture informs our thinking about accessibility and provides us with many innovative ideas, our universal design policy provides our suppliers and internal stakeholders with a clear set of guidelines. Universal design is a disciplined practice of designing products, services, and applications that are usable by the broadest possible range of consumers in the widest possible array of circumstances. It means incorporating a user-centered design at a very early stage of development. It requires an understanding of human factors, how individuals with different mixes of abilities, needs, and limitations interact with devices and services. It is the central piece of our approach, and it entails incorporating accessibility and incorporating usability into product and service development at the earliest stages, not as an afterthought, not as an add-on. And the benefit of that saves us money, of course. It requires less adaptation and typically produces a better product or service. These guidelines help to ensure that products and services that we envision can be accessed by all our customers. By way of illustration, this might mean a building with a ramp, a website that includes alternate text for images, a cell phone with both a numeric keyboard and a voice dial, a wireless tablet with a front-facing camera. But what it really means is innovations that enable an autistic child to communicate in school, an aging parent that can stay in their home longer because of access to affordable technology, an employee who is in an accident and can return to their job sooner. Now, understanding how customers actually use and interact with products and services is essential to any good product design. And this is where our Human Factors Lab comes in. The Human Factors Lab is part of AT&T Labs. It enables us to determine how customers with and without disabilities will actually use our product in the real world. It conducts customer research, analysis, design and usability testing to help develop products and services that are accessible, useful, and usable for customers with, and as I say, without disabilities. It tests any AT&T service, any service AT&T provides, from traditional phone services, automated voice response systems, websites, right up to cutting-edge mobile devices and television services. It enables engineers to get the customer's perspective firsthand, a perspective that, as you might imagine, might differ from an engineer's. The reality is that universal design and user-centered design benefits all of us. So what have we produced through all these processes and this approach? We offer smartphones that have a number of accessible features and specialized service and rate plans that meet the needs of our customers with disabilities. In some cases, these have been developed independently by us or independently by others in the mobile ecosystem. In others, there's extensive collaboration between AT&T and suppliers and developers. And we often do this to satisfy, this collaboration takes place to satisfy needs identified by groups like the AT&T Advisory Panel and Access and Aging. So, for example, we offer phones with industry-leading screen readers, voice activation and control, compatibility with braille displays, front-facing cameras, closed captioning, audible, visible, and vibrating alerts, hearing aid compatibility. In terms of service and rate plans, a text accessibility plan, a data-only plan, a national directory assistance exemption, and braille and large print bills. A particularly nice example is a product called the Pantech Breeze. We collaborated with partners to develop a handset that is specifically designed to serve the aging community. This design was developed with significant input from the AT&T Advisory Panel on Access and Aging. It was designed to meet the needs of aging adults and all customers. It incorporates assistive features for persons with low vision, dexterity limitations, hearing loss, and those needing simplified commands. But it looks just like a sharp mainstream handset. It's a great example of how accessible design not only leads to handsets that are appropriate for the target audience, but are popular for a wide group of customers. Indeed, when first introduced, Oprah Winfrey put this device on her top holiday gift list. Now, through a partnership with Code Factory, we have also been able to offer AT&T Mobility Accessibility Lite. It's a suite of accessible apps for Android for customers who are blind or have low vision, and it's free for AT&T customers. And what's particularly powerful about this suite of services is that instead of providing a single handset with these features, we have a solution that gives our customers access to a much wider range of handsets, the handsets running the Android operating system, and it's available in both English and Spanish. But accessibility is not just about products and services. It's also about customer service and customer care, as we say. So we have created a customer service center that is specifically designed to help our wireless customers with disabilities. While we have training for all our employees, this call center is staffed by individuals who are specifically trained to help our customers with disabilities find options that best fit their needs, as well as address more complex accessibility questions. And we have been bringing the industry's best and brightest to the challenge of accessibility, and by that I mean the AT&T labs. The labs are investigating the next generation of accessibility, and I would like to highlight just a particular focus on one thing: how speech technology in the cloud can improve accessibility. This is where we've made our AT&T speech recognition and text-to-speech proprietary technology available to developers to drive additional innovative product and service solutions on top of our own advanced capabilities. The AT&T Speech Mashup was awarded the FCC's Lifted by the Cloud Award for using the cloud to improve accessibility. And one creative use of this technology was a prototype called iWalk. This was developed by an AT&T Labs fellow named Shiri Azenkot while she was at the AT&T Labs as a summer intern. She initiated this product to demonstrate how cloud technology can be used to meet the navigation needs of people who have vision loss. She used GPS in conjunction with AT&T's cloud-based speech recognition and text-to-speech technology to offer voice-activated, turn-by-turn audio directions for people with low vision walking in cities. This is a wonderful example for all of us of looking at innovation like Shiri has in terms of creating opportunities for persons with disabilities who are facing challenges associated with aging. Now we believe, as I mentioned earlier, that this holistic and collaborative approach to accessibility will not only enable us to offer the best products for our customers today, but lead the way with the products of tomorrow. If you would like to learn more about our experience, I would refer you to this case study about accessibility, innovation, and sustainability at AT&T. It can be found on the web at g3ict.org. I know that AT&T is not alone in its commitment to addressing the needs of persons with disability. Each company needs to develop processes and practices specific to its culture and business needs. While the specific implementations may vary, the key is that there is an effort to create an end-to-end focus and a commitment to addressing these issues as part of a regular course of business. As mentioned, there's also considerable need for collaboration outside one's company. A service provider like AT&T is only one part of a large and complex and increasingly complex mobile broadband ecosystem. Alone, we cannot solve every concern, whether it's about privacy, cybersecurity, or accessibility. In our global world of 21st century technology, it is often a community endeavor, a very large community at that. We hope that sharing AT&T's story will be helpful in our efforts to help create a more inclusive world. And finally, I would like to close with a wonderful quote. It's a quote by Konosuke Matsushita, the founder of Panasonic. And it goes, quote, "We are apt to think that our ideas are the creation of our own wisdom, but the truth is that they are the result of the experience through outside contact," unquote. The results of the experience through outside contact. I am proud to work for a company whose mission for the last more than a century and a quarter has been to connect people, and I'm particularly appreciative of the opportunity to address you today about our continuing efforts to better serve and connect all our customers. Thank you.